This is just my opinion, but if you're buying anything that Erica Kirk is selling, you're the problem, and you're pretty much ignorant.
Erica, you got some explaining to do.
Have you ever played checkers with a chess player? A lot has been going on, but question is Erica Kirk the downfall for Republicans? Erica, you've got some explaining to do. A lot is going on in her life right now. She just lost the husband. Her past is catching up with her. She's just a widow. Anyway, let's go through these videos and let me know your opinion, okay?
Hey, did you know why Erica Kirk is not allowed in Romania? Because I just found out why Erica Kirk is not allowed in Romania, and I'll give you a hint. Birds of a feather, they stick together. Birds of a feather, they stick together. So what happened was Erica Kirk had a evangelical organization that would go and basically try and convert people to evangelicalism. And they went to Romania, and she was one of the many evangelical Christian groups that were accused in depth of trafficking children from the village. Let me say that again. She was accused by the locals in Romania of trafficking children in Romania. Makes you wonder why she's friends with Trump now, huh? Makes you wonder. Now, it's important to note that this is obviously accusatory. There's not, from what I know, there's not like hard evidence that this was happening. It's just, it was covered in depth by a lot of Roman newspapers, and a lot of the locals came out and said that it was these evangelical Christian organizations, and hers was one of the many in Romania trying to get people to convert. So, yeah, but apparently she's not allowed in Romania. Birds of a feather, they stick together. Have a good day.
If you've heard the rumors that Erica trafficked children in Romania, here's the lowdown. Harvest Christian Fellowship. There was a former pastor accused of SA and trafficking. Lawsuits have alleged forced labor and negligence. I don't know how you pronounce this name, but this was a gang that was forcing Roma children to beg for money in London. Ringleaders were arrested after police uncovered this ring. Having said all of that, none of those were Erica's nonprofit. There is no direct evidence linking Erica to child trafficking in Romania. There's also no direct evidence of the reason that her nonprofit closed, and there's very little record of what their nonprofit did. There's an article in Arizona Foothills from 2024 that discussed the organization running a children's wish list in Romania for Christmas. To be clear, I am not saying that she did, and I am not saying that she didn't. This is just a summary of the information available for information purposes only. As I was researching this topic, I came across this article. In it, there's a discussion about the Stalinist leader who ruled one of Eastern Europe's most repressive regimes. It came crashing down in 1989, along with all the other Soviet bloc nations. This leader had instituted one of the most radical and repressive policies in an effort to stimulate birth rates. This included outlawing abortions for any women under 40 who had less than 4 children. Now, this did trigger a baby boom, but many of the children who were born ultimately ended up in state-run orphanages. After the fall of communism, the West got a look at what was going on in these state-run orphanages and was shocked and appalled by the images of children living in squalid conditions. So here we have yet another regime, another example of an authoritarian leader trying to control birth rates and banning abortions without an understanding of what that does and what that means. And again, women and children suffered. Banning abortions is not what people think. If we want to reduce the number of abortions performed, there are clear and well-documented steps that we can take to ensure that there are as few abortions performed as possible. Bans are not the way to do it.
The wife of Charlie Kirk, Erica Kirk, is at the center of accusations about secret marriages, Epstein connections, foreign agent ties, even child trafficking in Romania. Some claim there's a story here no one once told. So let's look at the facts. Erica V. Kirk was born in 1988, raised Catholic in Scottsdale, Arizona. Her mother later married Larry Guinta. Online posts spin this into a secret plot, but public records show him as a stepfather figure and business partner, nothing more. At 19, Erica launched Everyday Heroes Like You, working with orphanages in Romania. Online, this became a trafficking conspiracy, but court records, investigations, evidence, none exist. So what about the rest? Secret husband? No records. Epstein ties? Zero evidence. Birthright trip to Israel? No record she went on an official birthright trip, though they did go to Israel multiple times. Foreign agent whisperers? No filings, no investigations. Cheating, financial crimes? Nothing in any public docket. Here's what's real. She ran a nonprofit, competed in pageants, built a Christian platform, married Charlie Kirk, and after his assassination, took leadership at Turning Point USA. The conspiracies? They vanish the moment you check real sources instead of viral posts. Because drama spreads fast, but facts are hard. But as always, did I miss anything? If so, leave it down in the comments and we'll discuss it from there. I'm Ben Powers. Thank you for your time.
Everyone's praising Erica Kirk's memorial speech like it was brave, but when you actually start looking into her, it gets dark fast. And I stand on what I said. It seemed more like a rally than a memorial, and Charlie's own parents and sister didn't even attend. Grief isn't a performance, and what went down at that memorial definitely felt like one. First off, have you even looked into Erica Kirk? Or looked into how her and Charlie even met? Erica and Charlie met in Israel. We all know that people in power set up relationships all the time. She won Miss Arizona 2012, a Trump-owned pageant. She was also an actress on a show called Summer House. She became a casting director for multiple nonprofits, also orphanages, including one named Romanian Angels. Go search it yourself because the stuff that comes up overseas is wild. And her dad worked in defense, running Raytheon's Israel division. Are you starting to connect the dots? Not long after Charlie started asking real questions, saying his morality was on the line, suddenly he's gone. Even one time Trump was asked about Charlie, after his life was taken, he started talking about the ballroom in the White House. Now Charlie's entire platform is in Erica's hands. This is not random. It all leads to the same place. They used faith and forgiveness as a stage prop just to get more control.
Erica Kirk, Romanian Angels, how are they tied together? And why did it all start when she was just 17 years old? People kept tagging me, telling me to look into this, so I did a little bit of digging. I'm skeptical by nature, but everyone loves a good conspiracy. But I stick to the facts, not rumors. Here's what stood out. Her nonprofit promoted a bunch of small projects, but one name kept showing up, Romanian Angels. It popped up in the archive pages, donation listings, and project write-ups. Based on those public listings, the nonprofit she started is directly tied to Romanian Angels. That's not hearsay, it's what the records show. Now the internet jumps from that fact straight to dark claims. Trafficking, cover-ups, you name it. But here's the key. I haven't found a verified investigation that proves any of those criminal allegations. So what are we left with? A nonprofit started by a teenager, a project called Romanian Angels, and a lot of unanswered questions, including one big mystery. Who backed her at 17 and why?
Fuck it, this video will get me in trouble, but I don't care. You deserve to know the truth. This is sinister, okay? There were some very weird things going on. Did you know that Erica Kirk was Miss Arizona and worked for this guy's pageants back in 2012? The same guy who bragged on a TV show that because he owned the pageants, he would go in and watch them change. Okay, that's strange. Odd strike number one. Number two, did you know that she ran a charity organization in the country Romania, and there are locals in Romania that said that there was some very, very heinous, sinister things going on, but the authorities wouldn't do anything about it. The news wouldn't do anything about it. Okay, strike number two. Now we learn that these two had connections and set up a meeting for the first time when Erica met Charlie was in the blue and white state. Okay, maybe all of these things are coincidences, but I think this gets really deep.
So she was Miss Arizona in the Miss USA pageant. Why is that a big deal? Because she was Miss Arizona back when Trump owned the pageant. But we know he's owned businesses in the past. Why is that crazy? It's not. She even did normal pageant girl things like charity work. Hers happened to be in Romania. Is that out of the ordinary? Nope. But at the time, Romania did have an out of the ordinary missing child problem. Well, that's not really good, but how does that relate? Well, these children would be found in countries like the UK, Israel, and even places like remote private islands. Oh. Oh. And the town where the charity operated out of was a hub of this problem. No. And there's a video on Vimeo from her personal Vimeo account from before she was married, where she documents a trip showing soldiers giving these kids presents and thanking one very specific military leader at the end of the video. Don't tell me. The same leader was implicated by a NATO translator in a scheme related to operating a brothel on a military base, though you won't find a single article in English that talks about it. And the investigation went nowhere. What the fuck? Don't forget that just was charity work. She has been on and off employed by Donald Trump the entire time. Get out of here. That on-stage moment doesn't seem so weird now, does it? What, are you trying to say all of this was like a distraction or something like that? Nope. But I am saying that if it was, let's just say it like this. If I broke your window playing baseball, the last thing I should do is come to your house and run laps around your front yard with the bat in my hand. It's the last thing I should be doing.
So apparently Erica Kirk, since taking over as CEO of Turning Point USA, her past has really come under scrutiny because she used to do some charitable work for some for some organizations that she founded that led her to doing some ministry work over in Romania. At the same time, reports out there saying that the mission that she sent over there was forced out of Romania because places where her ministry was going, children were disappearing and winding up in places like Israel or overseas. They were being trafficked. So this is all unsubstantiated at this point, but these are causes for concern, and these are investigations that need to be completed, but not getting a lot of media coverage. All we're seeing is her snuggling up to Dumpty there. And, Charlie wanted those Epstein files released. Maybe his wife didn't. Anyway, share your thoughts below and follow me for more.
If you've heard the rumors that Erica trafficked children in Romania, here's the lowdown. Harvest Christian Fellowship. There was a former pastor accused of SA and trafficking. Lawsuits have alleged forced labor and negligence. I don't know how you pronounce this name, but this was a gang that was forcing Roma children to beg for money in London. Ringleaders were arrested after police uncovered this ring. Having said all of that, none of those were Erica's nonprofit. There is no direct evidence linking Erica to child trafficking in Romania. There's also no direct evidence of the reason that her nonprofit closed, and there's very little record of what their nonprofit did. There's an article in Arizona Foothills from 2024 that discussed the organization running a children's wish list in Romania for Christmas. To be clear, I am not saying that she did, and I am not saying that she didn't. This is just a summary of the information available for information purposes only. As I was researching this topic, I came across this article. In it, there's a discussion about the Stalinist leader who ruled one of Eastern Europe's most repressive regimes. It came crashing down in 1989, along with all the other Soviet bloc nations. This leader had instituted one of the most radical and repressive policies in an effort to stimulate birth rates. This included outlawing abortions for any women under 40 who had less than 4 children. Now, this did trigger a baby boom, but many of the children who were born ultimately ended up in state-run orphanages. After the fall of communism, the West got a look at what was going on in these state-run orphanages and was shocked and appalled by the images of children living in squalid conditions. So here we have yet another regime, another example of an authoritarian leader trying to control birth rates and banning abortions without an understanding of what that does and what that means. And again, women and children suffered. Banning abortions is not what people think. If we want to reduce the number of abortions performed, there are clear and well-documented steps that we can take to ensure that there are as few abortions performed as possible. Bans are
Yeah, so Republicans in Israel might have shot themselves in the foot with this Charlie Kirk thing, because Erica Kirk's story is coming out and the Republicans are freaking out over it. So if you don't know what's going on, Charlie Kirk's wife won Miss Arizona, a beauty pageant, when she was, I think, 17. She had never contested before. Someone just told her, hey, you could be a beauty pageant. And guess what company she worked for? Guess who she worked for as in the beauty pageant? Donald Trump. Right after she won the beauty pageant, she ended up creating a Christian ministry that works with children and went to go work with the Romanian government. So now you have all these conservatives on TikTok and on Twitter asking, what kind of power does a 17-year-old have to create a Christian ministry to go work with the Romanian government to go for orphans? Now, here's a funny thing. At the same time that her ministry was in Romania working with the Romanian government, Romania went through a massive case of children missing. So the Romanian government kicked her, like her Christian organization that was in Romania to help Christian babies. The Romanian government told her to get the fuck out the country because something just doesn't add up. Because her ministry is linked with too many children going missing. So now, I swear, go on TikTok, go on Twitter right now, search Erica Kirk. That's all you'll see. Everyone is talking about how the fuck she was 17. She won a beauty pageant under Trump's agency. And then right after she won the beauty pageant, she went to Romania, started working with children. Children started going missing, and the Romanian government kicked her out.
Hey, did you know why Erica Kirk is not allowed in Romania? Because I just found out why Erica Kirk is not allowed in Romania, and I'll give you a hint. Birds of a feather, they stick together. Birds of a feather, they stick together. So what happened was Erica Kirk had a evangelical organization that would go and basically try and convert people to evangelicalism, and they went to Romania, and she was one of the many.
This is just my opinion, but if you're buying anything that Erica Kirk is selling, you're the problem. And you're pretty much ignorant. Oh, what there? Who are you to say? She's a grieving wife. She's a grieving spouse. You have no, if you have any level of empathy inside of you, which there's not a lot of things I'm going to boast or embellish myself about, but I'm a huge empath. Like I feel deeply. People that are empaths know that. A total stranger can make you cry. An animal that just got hit on the side of the road. I ran over a bunny a couple months ago, met with my mower. Took days for me to recover from that. Like, because it's so much emotion. Now, some say, so you're the end all be. It's like, no, but it's suspicious. It looks like an act. She put up, people's going to say, she was giving sign language. How many deaf people are in the audience? That's a Hail Satan signal is what she was doing. That was a hail, like, the Freemason ring, the 33, we already know all the 33 stuff. Like, what is the biggest psyop is trying to convince me and tell me that this is just a greeting. Get out of here with that nonsense. Like, no, like that is baloney. We're calling baloney. That is not how, I feel zero emotion from her when she talks or speaks in anything related. Like, zero, zilch. And then talk about the Romanian ministry and all of that. Like, this is when your discernment starts discerning. Like, that is, now there's people saying like, he wasn't even I don't know if he was, or like, I think he was, yes. Is it weird there's a trap door right below where, yeah, that's suspicious. That's sus as all get out. And that they can make holograms, the technology. We saw everything. It's like the plane saw everything through a screen. You're seeing everything through a screen. But there were people there. But again, we're missing some interviews and we're missing some, but I have seen some people really break down. Again, your empathy saying like, okay, that seems very real. Like that person's having PTSD, but did they see what we think they saw? I don't know. All I know is this, anything related to her, suspicious as all get out. I'm not buying anything. There isn't one emotion that I'm like, yeah, that seems like a grieving wife, grieving spouse. No. Psychos. No. Amber Heard did a way better job. And which was awful. We all know, like, you're guilty. Sorry. Like, that's exactly what it's giving. Come on.
Just to clarify again, I'm not saying that she didn't do that. I'm not saying that she did. I just summarized the information that I found when I did a deep dive on the topic. There's also no evidence, at least that I found, that they kicked her out of Romania. Her nonprofit doesn't operate anymore, and there's no publicly available information that outlines why. There's also no information available that outlines what that nonprofit even did. So there are a lot of questions here. And again, I am not saying she did it. I am not saying she didn't do it. I don't know. And I don't think, based on the information that's available, that anyone could actually make that determination, which is a part of the problem. Anytime that someone's being super secretive about something like this, it raises suspicion, rightfully.
Do y'all know what's going on with Erica Kirk? Because she is all over Twitter right now. So the story goes that back when she was 17 years old, she ran for Miss Arizona. And she ended up winning. And after she won, she started a Christian Foundation orphanage. But that orphanage was in Romania. Now the word on the street is that there was a huge amount of children that were coming up missing from Romania. And the Romanian government was tying it back to the foundation that Erica Kirk was in charge of. And they ended up kicking her out of Romania. They kicked her Christian Foundation, who were adopting children, out of Romania because there was correlation with missing kids. And now the internet is buzzing about this. Everyone's asking a bunch of questions like, where are those kids and how did your foundation get involved in the government kicking you out from these missing kids? I think the Republicans really messed up by getting behind the Kirk family, not knowing or knowing what they were involved in. I mean, what's the coincidence that Erica Kirk ended up marrying Charlie Kirk?
Hey, what's up? I did a deep dive last night into Erica Kirk, or Erica Francie's Romanian Angels organization, which was an organization that was linked with the US military and accused of trafficking underage girls in Romania. Now, since this issue started going viral, pop-ups like this, which I have never seen before in my entire life, have started showing up on Google. So utilizing Google to try and find this information is probably not going to deem fruitful. The main sources we're going to use today, and I will post the articles right here, are G4 Media, Active News, and, excuse me, I'm going to try and pronounce this, Stripent Ruviata, which are all Romanian news organizations, as well as a video posted to the video sharing site Vimeo, V-I-M-E-O, that features Erica Kirk talking about this organization directly. Now, that Vimeo video is about 3 minutes long, so for the sake of time, I'm not going to play it, but I do encourage you to go look it up while it is still available, because it's posted on her personal Vimeo page at Erica France V. It's titled Romanian Angels. So just to go over timelines here, in 2012, Erica Kirk, then Erica France V, competed in the 2012 Miss USA pageant as Miss Arizona, started working for Donald Trump, and then immediately after that went to Romania and posted this following video on her Vimeo page 12 years ago. Okay, so this video was posted 12 years ago on her personal page, and most of the video is just clips of her giving gifts to orphans. However, I want to pay attention to this thank you message at the end that thanks Colonel Busher, because his name is going to come up again. Essentially, Romanian Angels was an organization that connected Romanian orphans to members of the US military, and under the guise of giving them gifts. The person and the organization that she thanks at the end of that video, Colonel Busher and Associate United Hands Romania, have proven ties to child trafficking at multiple different points of their time in Romania. According to ctnews.ro, Associate United Hands Romania had close ties with the U.S. military at the Black Sea Rotational Force 17.1 and at the Mihal Kogalsanu military base. Now, forgive me for these pronunciations, I don't speak Romanian. In this article from January of 2020 from activenews.ro, I translated it, so let me just read it to you. It says, a former translator from the American base in Kogalsanu accuses a real brothel operated here where minors were brought in. The woman filed a criminal complaint with DICOT, D-I-I-C-O-T, requesting that the Kogalsanu file be connected to the Carousel Develsalu file. DICOT is the branch of the Romanian government that investigates organized crime. Now, for background, the Carousel Devasalu file was a criminal case in which a 18-year-old girl and a 15-year-old girl, Louisa and Alexandra respectively, disappeared under alarming circumstances, shockingly close to a U.S. military base in Romania. And when they caught the person that they accused of kidnapping both girls, the locals had said that that man had close ties with the U.S. military base in Romania. Now, backing it up to Colonel Busher of the U.S. Army, Erica's bestie, okay? I'm going to go back to that article from January 2020. The Carousel case in the summer of 2019 brought the Devasalu base to the forefront. That's the military base, with voices linking the disappearances of the two girls to human trafficking networks and the military unit hosting American troops. The translator cited at the beginning of this article is named Anna Maria Nusinu, who claims that a real brothel operated in this military unit and on this military base, where underage girls were brought here to satisfy the desires of some soldiers. Nusinu notified the prosecutor's office about this brothel on the premises of the military base, and although there was an extensive investigation carried out by the American and Romanian authorities, an agreement signed in 2001 between the two countries was invoked. In that agreement, Romania ceded the right of investigation to the U.S. military. Anytime there were crimes committed on a U.S. military base in Romania, those crimes could not be investigated by Romanian authorities. They were then investigated internally by the U.S. military. The article then says, among those who would have benefited from the services of the young girls brought to the Kogal Nisanu base would have been the commander of the Black Sea Area Support Team, Colonel Otto Busher, helped by his right-hand senior adjunct platoon leader, Lloyd Sparks. So, the very person that Erica was thanking at the end of that Vimeo video that I showed you is then implemented in child sex trafficking crimes. The article goes on to say, the document contains absolutely incredible information and details, which the author of the complaint, Anna Maria Nusinu, argues with concrete evidence in which under normal conditions would have led to convictions and long prison terms. However, since we are talking about military interests, the US and NATO, these are forces that always try to put these matters on the back burner whenever such scandals explode in the public space, the journalist writes. The case was effectively buried when the Americans invoked this agreement that they had with Romania that essentially prohibits Romanian authorities from investigating these crimes and hands over all investigative authority to the United States military. Here is another article from activenews.ro that provides further proof that Colonel Otto Busher, the person that Erica thanked for helping her with the orphans, was directly involved in these trafficking crimes. In that article, there are translations of his messages where he is negotiating prices for underage girls. So at the very least, the person she was running that organization with, the U.S. military officer that was helping her do these things, has at multiple points been implicated in trafficking Romanian minors to U.S. military bases. And at the very least, we deserve some kind of explanation as to why she left Romania, why the organization just stopped operating, and why all of this information regarding that man, her connections to him, and what Romanian Angels did while in Romania, while on that U.S. military base, has been essentially scrubbed from Google. And even if we are to assume that maybe she found out about everything and left, why wouldn't you speak up? Why wouldn't you use the power that you now hold to hold the U.S. military accountable and talk about the horrific experience that you had being associated with child traffickers in Romania? That's weird to me. And why is it that everyone who has some sort of working relationship with President Trump has ties and accusations regarding this topic? This is not a normal thing. I have lived a very colorful life. Never in my life have I landed myself in a situation where there were even accusations, even a rumor of me being affiliated with underage child trafficking. Everything about it is fishy. So thank you for coming on this ride with me. We have now reached an 8-minute mark. I think that is ample time. I will continue reporting back if I find anything else.